We lived in Winchester, Kansas, about 45 miles northeast. And I was the elementary principal there for 7 years. We went there in '61, and I met Cloeva, who was a high school teacher, and we married. And by '66, when the tornado hit, she was expecting our first little boy. I had been in Korea in the '50s, and I joined the National Guard when I got back, and I drilled here in Topeka in the National Guard Armory there. And that's where I watched the '66 tornado go completely through town.
And I was back in Winchester with a baby due in 3 days. We think our story is a little bit different than a lot of them, but I was watching the news report and went to the neighbors next door, and I still remember Bill Curtis saying, "For God's sake, take cover." And so we had 14 neighbors in our basement because we were the only basement on the whole block. And we looked out, and the sky was pea green, and there was stuff flying in the air. And this is 45 miles northeast of Topeka, but they said it was still on the ground when it entered Jefferson County. And that I didn't hear from him or see him or anything until 1 o'clock the next afternoon.
But we watched it until we couldn't see it anymore. It went through the city toward the airport, and that was about it. We had no idea what damage it had done until the morning. And by, I suppose, 6 o'clock in the morning, a colonel was put in charge and got us a Jeep and sent us out to survey some areas. One was down on Topeka Boulevard going back toward Sharp's, Pontiac and Cadillac, whatever, and on up that street to the north, because those trees were all cut off about halfway up. And I'd been in Korea during the Korean War, and it looked like a battle zone.
And in Winchester, we found 4x8 sheets of plywood on the football field, multiple letters, I mean, every kind of debris you could imagine, and that, that far away, it was just unbelievable. And on Friday, he had to come back down to Topeka, so he packed my suitcase and me in the car, and I came with him. I had never seen such damage and destruction in my life. I'd seen where tornadoes had been before, but this was just unbelievable. And because our baby was due the next day, and he thought, well, Eric was to be born in Lawrence. We thought it'd be closer just to go to Lawrence from Topeka. But he didn't come the next day, and he didn't come, and he wasn't born until the 22nd of June. And I've always said that not even a tornado, a full-blown tornado, could jar him loose at the time he was supposed to be born.